right, good evening, South Mississippi. Meteorologist Taylor Graham here with an update on our very hot forecast. You can expect it to be extremely hot over the next few days going into the work week. Now, it's not going to be that case by the end of the week, but Monday and Tuesday, brace yourself. It's going to be very hot and humid. So tomorrow, we are looking at high temperatures, more so in the low to mid 90s on the coast. But the thing is, the humidity is going to be really high tomorrow. So the heat index at times is going to be right around 110. Rain chances basically slim to none tomorrow. We could see maybe a stray shower or a stray thunderstorm in the afternoon. But because we've got a big, strong ridge of high pressure that's going to be right on top of us, it's going to be hard to see much rain at all going into Monday. The main story is going to be the heat and humidity, and we are expecting a lot of sunshine. That's going to make us warm up very quickly. As for this evening, it's still very warm and humid outside. We have temperatures in the mid-80s in Gulfport, still seeing the heat index of 96, and it does seem like across the board, as of about 9 o'clock, we have temperatures still in the low to mid-80s. That high humidity is making it more difficult for us to cool down much at all. Check out Long Beach. We still have a heat index at 101 as of 9 o'clock. Elsewhere, we're seeing the heat index still in the mid to upper 90s, a little bit closer to the coast. We will gradually cool down into the mid to upper 70s by early Monday morning, but once we get past the sunrise tomorrow, things are going to be heating up rather quickly. There have been a few isolated showers and thunderstorms across the area today. Many of us did not see any rain at all. We had a lot of sunshine, we had a lot of blue sky, and that obviously warmed us up quite a bit. I do want to take a look at the upper level pattern. What we have going on is a strong ridge of high pressure that at this point is almost right on top of us across the northern Gulf Coast. Whenever we have a strong ridge of high pressure, especially in the summertime, we get sinking air. As that air gets closer to the surface, it warms, and that's the reason why it's going to be so hot. Now, with that sinking air, that also prevents much in the way of rain from developing. We're still going to have the chance for 1 or 2 showers or thunderstorms to sneak in the afternoon on Monday and Tuesday, but overall, we're looking at a hot and relatively rain-free pattern over the next few days. The National Weather Service did issue a heat advisory that will go into effect tomorrow. I would not be surprised one bit if we have another heat advisory or possibly even a extreme heat warning on Tuesday. We'll see how that plays out. But tomorrow, heat advisory will be in effect for all of South Mississippi. Temperatures will be in the mid-90s for the most part. Heat index close to 110, and it's not out of the question we could see the heat index as high as 115. I'm not going to rule that out. Tomorrow looks like a great day to spend some time in the AC. If you have to be working outside tomorrow, just make sure you have plenty of water on hand, maybe even some electrolyte powder to give your body an extra boost if you're going to be sweating a lot. And it may seem obvious, but please listen to your body, take some breaks in the AC, because these heat illnesses, they can sneak up fairly quickly. So looking at temperatures over the next several hours, by the sunrise, we'll be in the mid to upper 70s. We'll quickly heat up into the mid 90s as we get into Monday afternoon. We are looking at lots of sunshine tomorrow, maybe a stray shower. I wouldn't count on it. Rain chances only at about 10 to 20% tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, that ridge sticks around. We'll stay in the mid to upper 70s by Tuesday morning. Tuesday afternoon looks to be maybe one of the hottest days of the week. High temperatures may be pushing the upper 90s, even for some of us along the coast. That's not out of the question. Of course, when you factor in the high humidity, it's going to feel even hotter. Generally speaking, the heat index likely going to be around 110 during the peak of our daytime heating tomorrow and into Tuesday. So again, if you have to be outside tomorrow, try to take some breaks in the AC if you're able to. Have plenty of water on hand. At the very least, take some breaks in the shade. And go slow. Don't push yourself too hard tomorrow. And if you have plans to exercise tomorrow, I do recommend doing that early in the morning or later in the evening once things have cooled down a little bit more. And the same goes for your pets. Make sure they have a way to stay cool tomorrow. Maybe throw in a few ice cubes into their water bowl, especially if they're going to be outside. And be careful as well with those pavement temperatures. Things can really heat up during the summer in the direct sunlight. You want to make sure it's not too hot for them to be walking on. So again, early in the morning, later in the evening, just before the sunset, that's going to be the best time to spend some time outside. In addition, we've got lots of sunshine in the forecast tomorrow, so if you want to evict those direct rays from the sun, again, early morning, late in the evening, UV index tomorrow is going to be considered extreme at an 11. So I did look at a little climate data for the Gulfport Biloxi area. Typically, our high temperatures on average peak right around this time of the year, from July 17th through August 24th, based off of climate records. Our average high is right around 91. So generally speaking, this is the hottest time of the year for South Mississippi. Now that is an average. Of course, in September, even October, we can get some really hot days. But overall, this is usually when we get some of the hottest weather during this time of the year. That's going to last throughout much of August. You can expect a lot more heat, a lot more humidity. Comes as no surprise to many of us. Once we get into October, our monthly high temperature overall is right around 80. The beginning of the month, we're still likely going to be in the upper 80s. By the end of October, that's when we have a better chance of finally getting some of those nice cold fronts to cool us down. So it's going to be a little while before we see any significant cool down where we'll notice a big difference in our air temperature and the humidity. I will say though, by the end of this upcoming week, things are looking a little bit cooler. Obviously, it's going to be incredibly hot the next several days, and just a heads up, the first half of Wednesday also looks really hot, but by Thursday and especially into Friday, we'll cool back down a little bit into the upper 80s and the low 90s. Inland areas, you may be a little bit hotter. Just a heads up, you have a better chance of seeing those upper 90s by Monday and Tuesday. By the end of the week, high temperatures hovering right around 90 or so. And the reason why we are going to be a little bit cooler, well, that's because our rain chances will be increasing. We're going to be watching a wave or a disturbance moving in from the east by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday with a lot of moisture in place. That's going to set us up for a decent chance of seeing some scattered showers and storms starting by the second half of Wednesday and also lasting into Thursday and Friday. Even throughout the first part of the weekend, a decent chance already for some showers and storms. Now, don't be surprised if rain chances increase a little bit more by the end of the week. But as for tomorrow and Tuesday, not anticipating much rain at all. But Thursday and Friday, as we get a little bit more data, a little more confidence in the forecast, those rain chances maybe a little bit higher. In the tropics, nothing concerning really South Mississippi at this time. We do have a tropical wave that is way out there in the open Atlantic. Over the next several days, it's likely going to stay out at sea. Development chances at this time are pretty low. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this has already been labeled Invest 94L. But at this time, not much of a concern for us. So that is some good news. We will let you know if anything changes. Generally speaking, the month of July in terms of the tropics is usually relatively quiet. Now, by the middle to end of August, and especially throughout the first half of September, that's when we really start to see a lot more tropical activity across the Atlantic basin. But other than that tropical wave right now in the open Atlantic, there's really not much else going on, which I'm not complaining about. I forgot who said it on Facebook. I saw this comment somewhere. Much rather have to bake than to evacuate. So I know we're going to be baking in the sun, it feels like, the next few days, but at least we don't have any tropical threats on our doorstep here on the Gulf Coast. Next name on the list is Dexter. I know last week we had that chance of seeing that wave in the northern Gulf being called that, but that never came to be. So Dexter is the next name on the list. So far this season, we have had 3 tropical storms, no hurricanes yet in the Atlantic basin. We'll hopefully keep that at bay for as long as we can. I'll wrap it up here with our 7-day forecast. Very hot, very humid, Monday, Tuesday, and the first half of Wednesday. We'll have a decent chance of seeing some hit or miss showers and storms by the end of Wednesday, and we've also got a decent chance for more rainfall by Thursday and Friday, and that will cool us down a little bit more by the end of the week. Nothing cool about it, but it will be cooler than what's coming our way on Monday and Tuesday. So current time is 9:22. I will have another update on our forecast, and we'll have another update on the news happening here in South Mississippi coming up during our 10 o'clock show. Hopefully you can join us then, and in the meantime, I hope you can stay safe and stay cool.